Before we continue to the battle, let me address the mistake in the movement phase we've discussed earlier in the previous part. Thankfully, it was not a mistake that will alter the look on the map. It's the mistake about this unit, A for G Popov. This unit belongs to a spearhead formation, but it started in Slavyansk, in a town, and according to the rules, the spearhead units ignore movement methods 4 to 9, but only if they or unless they're in a town or city, which was the case here. So for this unit, A4G Popov, movement methods 4 to 9 apply normally. Thankfully, the result would be the same, and let me show you why that is. The applicable method was 7, which called for the unit to move adjacent to a German unit in a logistics hex. So both these units are in logistics hex, these reddish colored hexes. So it's closer to the objective and adjacent to German unit in logistics hex. So 4 plus 2, 6. It's by movement method 7 and concludes it's the exactly same spot, and the last unit, as you remember, would go into Slavyansk, and so nothing, we didn't have to alter anything. Let me remind you that due to the zone of controls and their effects on movement, the German units were still not proximate to Slavyansk. That is, they could enter the hex in a single movement. Adjacency is not proximity when we discuss hexes, empty hexes, that is. Proximity to a hex is to be able to enter the hex. So no way, I have shown some ways it could move. It couldn't enter Slavyansk. Also 10 Popov goes into Slavyansk, and that's about it. Let's carry on with the battle. We have made the attack check, and now let's proceed to the attack procedure. So this unit, 3 Popov, will attack our German Corps Raus unit there. Let me remind you that this unit is surrounded and have given the unit improved position. So let's go to the attack, to the steps of the attack sequence. These units are gonna fight it out, and let's hope for the best. I mean, I have some high hopes because the actual strength is just 2 to 1, and yeah, maybe this unit will just survive the attack. Let's see. Okay, this is the first attack in this playthrough. Let's go through the steps. The first thing we check is whether there are any reserve units, active reserve units, that could join the attack. So let's go over to the reserve units box. So yes, moving a little bit. Yep, there it is. Reserve units. As you can see, there are no mobile group Popov units, so it's not an active unit, so it cannot join the attack. So no reserves will enter the attack. Let me yeah, that's better. Okay, next step, we we draw a card, one card from our Soviet draw pile, and apply. And let's see, this is the combat tactics. We look at the lower half, that are the combat tactics. Now, turns 1 through 5, we are on turn 1. The Soviets will get tank brigade combat tactic. Let's see, go to the player aid and see what it's all about. So, tank brigade, increase Soviet combat strength by 2 when attacking. And Soviet units in the combat are considered to possess armor if they do not already know they're already armor, and they can also and they also get 1 hit less. It's a very good combat tactic. Then because the Soviets are very aggressive at the start of the beginning, we check the auxiliary card in the Soviet command display. And if the combat tactic can be applied in this battle, it will also the Soviets will get that combat tactic too, and it has to be different, of course. It's NKVD, it's different from the previous card. And let's say what NKVD Soviet attack, increase hits incurred by, and command value, no, I'm showing partisans there, sorry. No. Yeah, I will go back to the proper combat tactic. Please ignore this the text showing there. Yeah, it's difficult doing it with one cam, sorry. So it's NKVD tactic. Also, during the first 2 turns, and since we are inside the artillery barrage line, you remember the dotted, you can let me focus a little bit. Bear with me. A moment, please. Okay, you remember this dotted line. This is the artillery barrage line. So the Soviets get an extra artillery tactic and the corresponding chit draw that goes with it. So it's going to be a tough battle. So they've got 3 combat tactics that apply. They've got a lot of advantages, and because of the NKVD tactic, we can't play any combat tactics. But we've only got just a few cards, and we have to manage our hand very carefully. And maybe we could play this one, but I'm happy I don't have to choose, because it would be I would be very tempted to play, but it's not happening. So I won't have to worry about it. So how do we resolve the attack? The game uses a chit draw system. There are chits that they have various situations printed on them, and if this situation applies, this is a typical chit, and it has a particular situation. There are 60 of these. We have placed them in a mug so that we can see what we're drawing, and as we draw, we consult what's written on the chit, and we decide if this cheat will apply or not in this combat. And so we'll see when we do it. Now, what we do next is calculate how many chits will be drawn for this combat. Minimum is the number of steps in the defending unit. So our minimum is 2 for this combat. Next, we calculate the maximum chits drawn. And the Soviets are attacking, and they always go for the maximum. So it's 2 chits for a unit with 3 steps. It's 3 steps, it's 2 chits. Then it's +1 for every combat tactic applied to this battle. So we have 3 combat tactics, artillery, NKVD, and tank brigade. So it's 2 + 3, 5 chits. And let's see if it's out of supply. No, it's not out of supply. And if it's not isolated, so it's 5. It's 5 the maximum, nothing else applies. And as I've said, the Soviets will go for the maximum number of chits drawn. It can get quite bloody, as you can imagine. So I'll draw 5 chits one by one and examine if they apply to the battle. So let's see what we will get. Okay, but let me no okay, no, and I don't have enough space, to be honest. Let me zoom out a little. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so first chit, okay, only attacker armor. There are 2 sides, of course, and the other one is only defender armor. Only defender armor. No, that's not the case. It's just infantry unit. And the other one says, and it applies to turns 1 to 11, only attacker armor, which is the case here. Third Popov is armor, ours isn't. So this cheat applies. D1 means the defending unit will incur a hit. So that's our first hit. Second cheat, attacker artillery. Yeah, defender, we don't have artillery, and the red P means priority. If both had artillery tactic, it would this side would get priority. So we don't have, but so attacker has artillery, so it's A -1. It means that attacker will incur 1 less hit. Of course, it can go below 0. Okay, third cheat. Oh, combat ratio 4 to 1. It's not the situation, it's the actual combat strength here. So it's 6 plus 2 from the combat tactic. It's H to 3. It's 8 to 3. No, it's still less than 3 to 1. It's in no way it's no way greater or equal to 4 to 1. So the other side says less than 3 to 1, and yes, it is less than 3 to 1. It's 8 to 3. It's yeah, it's less. It should be 9 to 3. So it also applies. Okay, this one cancel each other actually. So fourth bit, no, we don't have attacker artillery and its priority. Yeah, they've got that's our 2 hits for the time being. And the last chit, large attack. No, large attack, it 7 chits or more. It's not, it's 5 chits. It's not large attack. And greater or equal 5 to 1. No, it's not. So this chit doesn't apply at all. So let's leave it by the side, but we don't take it into account for calculating hits. So attacker, +1, -1, 0 hits for the attacker. So it's, and we've got G2, so 2 hits for our unit. Let's see what the combat tactics say. NKVD calls for another hit for us, so it's 3 hits for us, and no, tank brigade doesn't give more hits to us. So yeah, it's 3 hits that our unit has to sustain. So we have to satisfy 3 hits as the defender. Okay, now that's why our improved position was critical. So 1 hit will be absorbed by the improved position, so we take it away, and we have to, oh, I said 3, didn't I? So I think I've made a mistake here. So we could either retreat to hexes, become dispersed, and yeah, if we retreat to a hex that is in enemy zone of control, you lose a step, and this step doesn't count for any additional hit. So let me see. Oh, yeah, I think it's 3 hits, 1 by improved position, then it's 2 hits. Yes. Okay, but the first one will incur. Okay, it's the same, no matter how I look at it. Okay, let's retreat. I have made a mistake in the video. I will correct it in part 5. Yeah, because part 4 is already in my computer. Don't worry. So but the first thing that I would do would be indeed no other options there if you're going to keep that unit. I mean, if I just sit there and take 2 hits, the unit will be eliminated. So I don't want to do that. I'll try and keep that unit alive for as long as I can, at least. So I'm sorry, I've watched it a little bit, but I think I got it early, so no harm done. I will correct it in part 5 of this video. So retreat, I satisfy the hit, but I lose the step because I have retreated in that's in the zone of control, in a hexed zone of control. But part 5 I will have to remedy that and get I'll retreat another hex and disperse the unit. There it has a better chance. I think it's adjusted right now, and I think I'll get it with the other unit. Or so now advance. They don't have to satisfy any hits. They didn't get any hits, so they will check for advance. It's if it was our unit, we would decide, but the game has a system to decide. Okay, the first, by the rules, the first hex into which we advance is the hex vacated by the defender. So it's the attacked hex first. They can't go, I mean, they can't advance wherever they want. And let's check. Okay, let's check the priorities. Okay, this is this hex. It's not a VP hex. It's not in the primary direction. No, supply status is not yet into play. Is it closer to objective? And no, it's not closer, definitely. Secondary movement, no. And no second hex advance, causing a unit to become surrounded. No, I don't think so. Is it closer to objective? No. It's the attacked hex. Yeah, there is a priority that says the attacked hex. So it's on a roll. We then see how many units there are already in the hex. 0. So it's a roll. It comes down to a roll of 1 to 7. On a 1 to 7, the unit will advance. Let me. Oh, you can't see this, can you? Okay, but here it is. It's a 1. So it will advance there, and that's how we resolved this attack. This attack is now over, and I will fix the mistake because we have to retreat one more hex, and I'll fix this mistake in part 5. Sorry for that. So that's all for now.